FBA fees climbing, I'm losing my grip. Storage costs rising, they'll never let me skip. Refunds I'm eating, returns pile up too. Oh, Amazon, what else will you do? I look at my dashboard, my profits erased. My margins are gone, it's a slap in the face. Prime Day's a promise, but it's such a race. How much will I make if I'm replaced? It's a cruel, cruel number. Fees keep climbing, profits torn asunder. Oh, it's cruel, the sellers wonder how to survive when the margins go under. It's a cruel, cruel number. Every month it's something new to plunder. Oh, it's cruel, it's no wonder we're stuck in this game. The algorithm's thunder.
Yo, Amazon's back, and they got a new scheme. Reimbursement slashed, it's every seller's dream. They're digging deep, taking more from the pot. Let's break it all down, expose what they got. March 25, it's a policy drop. They say manufacturing costs, but we know it's a flop. Give us your cogs, they're demanding the price. But if you don't, they'll estimate nice. Nice for them, not for you. Watch a payout shrink. That comprehensive evil is a corporate wing. Lost in the warehouse, damaged on the floor. Now they pay you pennies, not a cent more. Fees on the rise, profits on the run. They don't lift a finger, but they pocket the fun. We're fair! They shout while they cut our shares. Amazon math, man, it's full of errors. Fees, taking our dough. They're stacking the deck, and it's sellers who owe. Reimbursements? Nah, they're taking us down, but we're still here, we don't mess around. Fees, straight to the top. Amazon's game, it'll never stop. Margins tight, but we keep the grind. Sellers unite, we're one of a kind.
I try to sell my product on Amazon, thought it'd be a breeze. But little did I know I'd be stuck with seller support disease. They never seem to solve my problems, just give me the run around. I'm tired of waiting on hold. My patience is wearing thin, I'll never be found. Amazon seller support, you suck, you suck, you suck. Can't get no satisfaction. I'm out of luck, out of luck, out of luck. You don't care about my business, just trying to make a buck. Amazon seller support, you suck, you suck, you suck.
This one's for the sellers on the grind, getting left on red, wasting all their time. I hit up support, got an auto reply. Thanks for your patience, man, I wanna cry. Inventory lost, my margins are toast. Reps playing tag like the Casper the Ghost. They pass me around, it's a never-ending game. Nobody takes action, everybody shifts blame. My ASIN's down, I'm out of the race. They say they'll escalate, yo, what a disgrace. Amazon seller support, you're breaking my heart. No answers, no fixes, just tearing me apart. Hours in the queue, stuck in the dark. Amazon seller support, you're missing the mark.
Amazon game plan, that is the key. Seller Central dashboard, that's where I be. Analyze the funnel, see what we lack, then we optimize. Sellers know it's a fact. I get it poppin', you know that it's lit. Climbing the rankings, ain't no room to quit. I check the data, they notice the stats. I keep the method, that's how you adapt. Metrics are showing, you know it's our cap. Amazon sellers, it's time to react. I'm about that action, I do this with passion. I got them like, whoa, what is this? Huh, whoa.
I don't know, dude. I think everybody's just buying stuff based on reviews and badges or whatever. They don't even know who we are. These customers don't even know the name of my brand. But they keep clicking add to cart like it's part of the plan. They see that Amazon badge and think it's all grand. But yo, they don't even know the name of my brand.
Click, scroll, build your store. Amazon's waiting, what you waiting for? Brand it loud, make it shine. Steven's here to drop the rhyme. Blue tiles, banners, plug and play. Your storefront's live for sell a day. Now listen up, I'm Steven Pope. Amazon guru, I'll help you cope. Step 1, get that trademark stamped. Without brand registry, your Amazon cramped. Head to Seller Central, log in quick. Manage stores tab, yeah, that's the trick. Upload your logo, flex that style. You're about to make Jeff Bezos smile. Where pick a template, marquee or grid. Drop your tiles like a branding whiz. Hero image, big and bold. This store's gonna glitter like digital gold. Scroll, build your store. Amazon's waiting, what you waiting for? Brand it loud, make it shine. Steven's here to drop the rhyme. Blue tiles, banners, plug and play. Your storefront's live, let's sell the day. Yo. In the trenches of the Amazon game, trying to survive while it's driving me insane. Nobody warns you, they just claim it's passive income. Nah, it's pain. I'm sitting at a birthday, laughing, chilling, next to a newbie Amazon seller spilling. She's like, Prime so smooth, it's a killer. Then tried to sell, now she's stuck in a thriller. Finding products, yeah, that's the first grind. Scrolling Alibaba, losing my mind. Sample suck, manufacturers decline. I'm like, dang, how's anyone doing this fine? Ship it in, pay for the bubble wrap, but they ship glass bottles in padded crap. Now I got hot sauce leaks, refund stacked, customers pissed. Man, I'm under attack. Amazon's a beast, it's a fight, no peace. From SEO to PPC, the hustle don't cease. Think it's passive? Nah, you better increase your tolerance for chaos or face defeat. Trademark wars, brand registry's a scam. They banned my brand, now I'm in a jam. Listings yanked, products ranked and tanked. Lost dogs in the catalog, my account shanked. Now let's talk ads, it's a rabbit hole. 1,000 hours deep, man, it's taking my soul. Weekly negations, bulk sheets for control. Excel's my new weapon, but it's taking its toll. SEO's no joke, keywords in the game. Alt text, A+ content, playing insane. Lifestyle shots, avatars for fame, but the CTR's low. All products look the same. Amazon's a beast, it's a fight, no peace. From SEO to PPC, from SEO to PPC, the hustle don't cease. Think it's passive? Nah, you better increase your tolerance for chaos or face defeat.
Let's go to Mac School. To Mac School. Class is now in session with Professor Pope.
They got the SAP, cause Professor Pope wrote the recipe, helping Amazon sellers grow sales exponentially. Amazon's a jungle, but we map the strategy. Brand strategist playbook, it's a guide to victory. Troubleshooting catalog, you know we got the answer key. Boosting all your rankings, turning sales into a legacy. SOB so deep, you think we studied at Mac School. Every step we follow leads to growth, yeah, it's a golden rule. Stuck on keywords, we'll find the ones that work the best. Using Helium-10, strike distance keywords pass the test. Incremental indexing ensures the listing set to rise. From the back end to the bullets, optimization hits the skies. Brand store creation, yeah, we make it shine and flow. A+ content design makes conversions overflow. Need your images on point, best practices in the plan. Alt text and photo rules ensure your visuals command. SEO meets PPC, it's balanced, every step aligned. We'll construct the MKLs that drive rankings over time. Budget caps and bid adjustments, no more wasted spending. Segmentation builds campaigns that sellers can defend. Got a hijacker, no problem, we'll file to take them down. Review requests in action, 5-star ratings come around. Flat file updates, market share reports, it's all in reach. Professor Pope wrote the SOP so sellers learn and teach.
Meanwhile, my Amazon guys on the case, fixing up my problems at lightning pace. Ticket escalations, Mag's the boss. Even Amazon says we'll take the loss. Seller support don't know what's up. Passing the buck when the issue gets tough. They're the official team, but they can't comply. So they say, reach out to my Amazon guy. They're supposed to be the pros, but they can't decode policies and tools from their own damn road. I'm paying fees, yet they bring me stress. But Mag turns my chaos into pure success. Seller support reps, they throwing shade, but then admit, yo, Mag will get you paid. Third-party agency taking the throne while Amazon fumbles in their own damn zone. Seller support don't know what's up. Passing the buck when the issue gets tough. They're the official team, but they can't comply. So they say, reach out to my Amazon guy. So here's the truth, let's keep it real. Mag's the team with the pro-level skill. Amazon sellers, you know the vibe when support says call Mag. They'll give you peace of mind. Amazon seller support, you can suck my image stack. Sucking is all you're good at anyway. Bezos, hit me up if you want to sell seller support. I'm buying. There's a chase. Peace.
Hello and welcome to the My Amazon Guy live Friday Q&A. My name is Noah Wickham. I am VP of Sales and Marketing here at My Amazon Guy, and I am here to answer any and all questions that you might have. Amazon related, e-commerce related, world related. Probably won't get into politics, but I guess if there's a question for it, who knows? All that being said, we have a ton of questions in the chat already. I'm just going to blast through them all. We'll be here for the next hour and a half or so. We'll see. As long as there's questions, I'll stay around and keep answering them. If you have a question, throw it in the chat, like I said, now, and we'll get to it. And yeah, all that being said, let's hop right into it. I got a cool new hat this week. I even got our 7th anniversary shirt here as well. It looks pretty cool, if I do say so myself. I like it. Has our core values on it as well. So we're decked out in the swag today, so to speak. Got the sign, the hat, the shirt, it's great. All that being said, let's start off with Mark today. Hi, Noah. Do coupons help improve click-through rate? And if so, how to best use them to drive traffic? I have subscribed and saved, so I believe this gives some more options. Yeah, so coupons can improve click-through rate to a certain extent, right? Obviously it shows up on the SERP when people are, looking for different products and they can see that something either has a discount, promotion, coupon, so on and so forth, that they can apply. So it can affect click-through rate in a positive aspect, but I don't think it's going to be a major factor in your click-through rate at the end of the day. So it's one of those, it's similar in the sense of much better on a conversion standard, right? So your click-through rate to conversion ratio might get better comparatively for having something like a coupon or a promotion active, but it's not necessarily going to have a direct correlation, one-to-one impact when we're looking at the idea of just click-through rate in general. So grain of salt, I suppose. With that, you can do some testing alongside of it, but make sure you're not doing any current main image A/B tests or manage your experiments or anything along those lines while you're also testing at the same time. Good first question. We have a new member, JPS. Welcome, JPS. Does JPS have a question? I'm not seeing. I guess welcome, JPS, for becoming a YouTube member. We don't get many members, to be honest. Matthew Johnson. Does Amazon... I used to know a Matthew Johnson. That's really funny, actually. Went to school with one. Does Amazon allow you to create your own affiliate link if you are trying to use influencers off Amazon? What tools does Amazon give sellers trying to drive traffic from outside Amazon? Yeah, so there actually is some tools. There's kind of two ways that you want to go about this. The first of which is going to be, you're going to want to set up a brand referral link. So let me actually, I can log in here, Matthew, and kind of just walk you through this real quick, as long as this account has it active, which I believe they do. Yeah, so they do. So let me share my screen here. Share screen. Here we go. All right. So Matthew, if you are on Seller Central here, you're going to want to come on over to this left side menu, come down to brands, and you're going to want to click this little button called brand referral bonus. So brand referral bonus is essentially where you are able to get referral tags, and it gives you actually 10% bonus basically off of bringing people onto Amazon's platform from things such as influencers on non-Amazon marketing efforts. So the point of this is basically, let's say that your average referral fee to Amazon is 15%. Well, with the brand referral bonus, you're actually only going to pay 5% rather than that 15%. But it's pretty simple, like I said, to essentially just come here. You'll click this generate referral. It'll bring you over to Amazon advertising. Issue loading the page apparently. But you have Amazon attribution. They say it's in beta. It's been around for years now, which is crazy. Oh, here we go. Forgot about that. So it says that, but essentially it allows you to measure, optimize, and just plan out all of the different aspects. So you can actually see how each of those different referral tags is working. So whenever I utilize off Amazon influencers or marketing tools, I will do the brand referral tag for that so that we can measure actual attribution for those brands. Deepak. Hello. Good idea to write keyword-heavy bullet points for initial indexing, then phasing it out for bullet optimized for conversion after a month or two after getting indexed in rankings. Yes and no. So realistically, the big aspect you want to focus on here is more so your first 1,000 characters in bullets, first and foremost, because those are the ones that Amazon prioritizes. It doesn't necessarily mean you can't index past that, but Amazon prioritizes your first 1,000 characters. Now, that being said, at the end of the day, there is no real say that you have to have short bullet points. I do find that after a while of enough indexing and ranking, usually around a 2,500 to 3,500 measure, having really, really keyword heavy bullet points doesn't necessarily help you from either a conversion path or even just a overall impression share. So it's one of the things where, yes, after a while, you do want to phase out, have a little bit tighter bullet points for keywords that actually matter, very high relevancy, strike zone type keywords that you are trying to push into that 1 to 10 ranking area. But yeah, in the meantime, I would definitely have a bit heavier keywords overall. And again, first 1,000 characters is what really matters. Hello, Noah. How does CE work? Do you normally get product CE tested from a lab or trust the Chinese factory certificate? What labs do you use? Which are the most popular? Yeah, so CE testing has changed over the last couple of years. Typically speaking, whenever I'm looking at CE testing nowadays, I want to use pretty much only the ones that Amazon has within their partner portal. And the reason for that is that you can essentially have that testing done and have it go directly through that partner portal. All of those partners will then upload the documentation directly to Amazon if it is ever needed for any reason. But that's a big, big factor that I would take into account at any given time. Oh, I froze for a minute there. So if my voice is kind of freezing, let me know. I'll have our people on the back end tell me. But either way, so yeah, I mean, it's a really big factor. It is that they will just upload to Amazon for you. Makes your life really, really easy at the end of the day. If you are having, say, I don't know, just any issue whatsoever with the Chinese factories, which does happen. I don't really always trust the Chinese factories to have proper CE testing or documentation. And Amazon a lot of times won't even accept it, depending on the factory. So we have 4 different sizes of the same item with 7 different pack sizes and 12 color variations, 6 same color, 6 multicolor. What is the best way to set up Parentage for optimal PPC? So the Parentage itself, I'm always going to recommend just having all of your relevant products within one Parentage. And it's not even for a PPC aspect, right? The thing that actually matters, and again, it's not so much the PPC on the Parentage, which is to an extent, because you are going to have things like your hero products that extend into having a larger average order value. You're going to be essentially pushing no matter what, no matter where your PPC is, it's going to be pushing to the Parentage, right? Which is always great at the end of the day for trying to do some cross-selling. Sorry, is that a fruit fly flying from my face? I don't know if, okay. Fruit fly problem, apparently. So anyway, so the aspect that I would more so look at when you're looking at any Parentage is as long as the products are generally relevant to each other, especially when you're doing things along the lines of color and multicolor. Now, if we're looking at like 12 variations where you essentially actually only have 2 variations and then it's size variations, I mean, it's not really that big of a deal, right? Because you're going to do essentially a double variation where you're going to do a size color variation. So you have those 2 different colors, and then you realistically have 7 different pack sizes. But it sounds like 12 color variations. I'm not really understanding. So you're saying 6 same color, 6 multicolor. I guess I'm not really understanding that part. Thing I might, if you have that many where it's like 12 by 7, then I might in that capacity look at instead just doing based on size and then based on color. But if they are newer products, I would just throw everything into the same, and it's going to essentially still have the effect or the desired effect you want from an advertising perspective. Realify Games. Before I answer this, I'm going to drink more mag, actually. You guys think that I'm kidding when I say I have like all the mag merch. It's incredible. I actually also have a water bottle over there somewhere that has mag on it. It's kind of crazy at this point, actually. Actually, just noticed. Okay, I thought that my mag logos were different for a second. So Noah, as I said last time, I moved country, but my business is still a U.S. business address. Yeah, I remember that. I live in Afghanistan. Fantastic. I speak to the Amazon customer service, and they say I need to update my personal address. Do I need to change my primary contact address to? Is it a legal requirement or anything, or an Amazon policy or something? I have a home in the US too, but I don't live in it anymore. So the thing that I guess I'm a little confused here, Realfy, is when you're saying you have a home in the US, but you don't live there. So you can utilize a secondary home address or business address or anything as long as you own that address for your business, for your Amazon account, right? So if you still have a home in the US and that is your primary business address, right? And your LLC is registered to that address, yes, you can still absolutely use that address as your primary contact address. Now, the issue is if you ever get any mail or anything there, you might have some issues unless you have somebody there who can read all of that mail. As far as your personal address, yeah, so for things such as like personal identity verification on Amazon, you're going to have to likely update your address for that, just because if you ever have something where Amazon has to, do identity verification and you have to show them, a driver's license, or you have to show them like a passport, right, to verify who you are as like a person. You want to make sure that whatever you show on that passport is the exact same as what is on Amazon as well. So that's the only real thing that you're going to be facing an issue with. Deepak, let's say my competitor has one bundle with one large tablecloth plus one handkerchief, and another with tablecloth plus two handkerchiefs. Is there any way I can find out which bundle sells better? Not exactly. So there's not really good tools on this anymore. So if they have the parentage set up correctly on Amazon, then even a tool like Helium 10, for instance, or Smart Scout or Data Dive, all of those will group sales by parentage. So they don't group sales by individual bundles. But if they have the individual bundles themselves, I would just look at the two individual listings, so to speak, and that will give you an idea. But if it's like, for instance, a virtual bundle, if it's a parentage, unfortunately, no, there's no real easy way, so to speak, to actually get that sales velocity. You would kind of just have to aggregate it, and then you could just theoretically cut it in half, right? Hey, Noah, summer is almost done. You're saying sad face. I'm saying happy face. It's 61 degrees here in Michigan, and I could not be happier. I love fall. Fall is like my favorite time of the year. I have like all my Halloween stuff sitting over here that I'm getting ready to pull out here. I'm a big fall guy. So, I'm sorry that it's not great for you, but I do love fall. I took a keyword that was getting sales in broad at high ACoS and put it into a phrase match, but the phrase match campaign gets fewer impressions with high bid. When reviewing the search term report of the broad, the phrase match should be getting lots of impressions because most search terms were with that keyword. Any idea what's going on? Yeah, so one thing you could do is you could check your match type. Not your match type, sorry, your bid adjustment type. So just do a double check and see what the difference between your broad and your phrase was when it from a campaign level with bid adjustments. So potentially with your broad, you could be getting a lot more product pages. You could be getting a lot more top of search. Then with the phrase, you might be getting more rest of search, so on and so forth at that bid velocity. So big thing that people tend to forget at the end of the day is that each one of the different match types, along with each one of the different bid adjustments, is going to have an actual differentiated bid. So Amazon's whole suggested bid is basically an aggregate of every type of those bidding structures across the board, unless you're looking at the suggested bid specifically by match type. So that's the only thing that I would tend to lean towards in that capacity. Secondarily to that, you can also just double check to ensure that your ad is actually populating. So I see this sometimes. I have a video on our YouTube channel now that I actually think about it. If you search, let me actually just see if I can find this for you real quick. Eisen. Azane? I think Azane. I might have said your name wrong there. So if I'm looking on my Amazon Guy's YouTube channel here, I'll share this tab and we'll just kind of look together. There is a quick thing where you can do impressions. Here you go. So very first one, if you just search on our YouTube channel, the word impressions, the very first one that comes up is common causes for 0 impressions on Amazon PPC. It's a great video. I go into a lot of in-depth on the different things that can cause zero impressions, what the issues are, so on and so forth, and how to solve it, and more so. So I would definitely go give that a watch and see if you're facing any of those issues, and kind of go from there. Lit says, "Hey Noah, hello. How are you?" James, how should the how should the board game / toy secondary images have to be to have good conversion? Is different from a tech or kitchen product? Yeah. So one of the big things that I see frequently as a problem, especially with like board games that aren't known, toys that aren't known, is if it's a board game, try and list out details about playing the game in your images as like your infographic, so to speak, in your secondary images. Another really big thing is, let's say it's a toy, you need lifestyle images. You need to have kids playing with the toy or adults or whoever your, primary audience use case of the product, not necessarily buyer, but the actual product use case, have that as like a primary thing within your secondary images for your lifestyle images. Like that's a really, really big thing that I want most people to typically have within those images and within those designs. Let's see. Lit says, is there a way to check competitors' conversion, also conversion on individual keywords? Not really. Trying to think if there's a tool, but no, not really. So the issue at the end of the day is like a lot of that kind of data, conversion data, anything like that, you can look up Data Dive. So Data Dive is really good at understanding direct individual keywords and how different products are doing on keywords. So I would probably do Data Dive and do a dive against your competitor ASINs. That'll give you more in-depth understanding on the keyword side. Still not going to be great on like conversion, right? So like you can see things such as like aggregate sales that they're assuming people purchased against, right? But it's all with a grain of salt, right? Like it's not actual data that's being pulled. Only Amazon has that data, and they don't just give that out to like everyone, right? It's not something you can just pull at the end of the day. Please share your strategy for Walmart too. We aren't seeing any promising results. Walmart's tough, man. Walmart is really tough. Typically say you're never going to see more than 10 to 20% of the sales on Walmart that you do on Amazon, especially if you're an Amazon first brand. If you're a Walmart first brand, that's a little different. Walmart's a big play to try and get into retail, realistically. You're probably going to have a lot of difficulty with its advertising platform more than anything because advertising on Walmart is exceptionally different compared to advertising on Amazon. So Walmart advertising is not so much product oriented, it's more brand oriented. So you're essentially trying to advertise the entirety of just getting visualization of your brand and your products on the platform comparatively to Amazon, where you're very much a one-to-one click conversion ratio, right? As far as that's what you're focused on from a keyword perspective and like a direct product perspective. So we have a couple of videos on our YouTube channel going over Walmart optimizations. I might make another one here soon, just kind of talking about it. We do have a course, I believe, on Walmart as well that I would advise going checking out. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Walmart's tough. It's never going to be as great as Amazon at the end of the day. I think it really could if Walmart actually put effort into their e-commerce and effort into caring about sellers less than they care about their retail. But that's just not going to happen at the end of the day. So Video Games Explained is back, and I still have not heard a single video game explained by him. I want to sell toys in the UK. Can I do UK CE testing myself, or do I have to do it in a lab? What do you guys normally do? How do people sell toys, electronics, etc. in the UK? Yep. So typically speaking, I'm again, like I said earlier, always going to get CE testing done in a lab. It's just best, especially dealing with the EU. The EU and the UK are so strict on CE certifications. It's crazy. You have to have it on your product packaging. So that's a big thing. I would just get the lab certification. It'll save you a lot of headache down the road if anything were to come up at the end of the day. And so having that lab certification does help you out a ton. But you also, again, have to have like CE directly on your product packaging. It's one of the annoyances a lot of times where People don't realize that because you don't have to in the US in a lot of scenarios. And so, yeah, I mean, I would add it to your product packaging. I would make sure your manufacturer is CE certified, and then I would also get lab tested as well. I have so many questions today. It's totally fine. More questions, the better, in my opinion. I would much rather have 1,000,001 questions than like no questions at all. I get kind of frustrated when I hop on here. I'm just like met with nothing. And I'm just like, well, guess we're not doing it today, guys. One of my exact campaigns gets sales, but they come from the keyword related to ad group and not the actual keywords in the campaign. How do I optimize this? Keyword related to ad group. Oh, so essentially you're targeting for keyword related to ad group rather than your actual keyword. Negations, but I mean, I guess the question I would say is, why are you trying to optimize it? Are you trying to optimize for that specific keyword? Are you trying to add new keywords in? Are you trying to allow for, more phrase match, broad match? Those are all kind of questions I would want to ask to understand exactly what your scenario is, not in. That said, the biggest thing I would probably focus on if you're trying here to essentially increase overall from like a keywords related to is, you could try and do like a gold paying campaign, just find your own search terms. I mean, that's a aspect, but that's not going to help you from your current campaign optimization standpoint. So, I guess what you could do, technically speaking, is you could look at just under negating. So rather, typically I want people negating once per week, but if you're actually getting volume from this, I would not negate towards it. And I would take some of those, throw them into a phrase match. So if you're getting a lot of those, I would find it from your search term, look at your search term report, and then immediately throw it towards a phrase and see if that helps you. I don't know why my door just opened. That's terrifying. But I think that answers your question there. Lit, how to optimize for Rufus, since these days we are seeing phrases in search terms. I'm so sick of Rufus. So how do you optimize for Rufus? You don't really. There's a lot of information out there about Rufus. There's a lot of thoughts around how to optimize for it. You really want to show up in Rufus from an advertising perspective, you have to have sponsored display campaigns. So sponsored display shows up in Rufus. I personally just don't think Rufus is as big of a factor as people think it is. I don't think customers are using Rufus all that often. I think within the Amazon realm of sellers and software providers, agencies, all of that, we talk about it a ton, and it's super interesting to us because it's the coolest thing that Amazon has given us in God knows how long. But from a customer perspective, I love using this. I will ask people in my family. I will just ask them who I know shop on Amazon and ask them if they know about things. And if they don't know something exists or have never seen something, heard of something, whatever, it's a good barometer for me to understand, does this matter to the average customer? And I have not heard a single person in day-to-day life. I have not talked to a single friend, colleague, family member, anything who knows Rufus or has ever utilized it. And we ran a study a couple of months ago where we just did a test asking 500 people, do you know what Rufus is? Have you utilized it? Only 13% of those people said that they had ever heard of Rufus, and less than 6% said that they had ever used it and would use it again. So take with that what you will. My opinion is Cosmo. Amazon's new AI algorithm is going to be released sometime in the next 12 months. Some people think it's already here. It's not. They've done testing in less than 10% of the entire market in very specific categories. And so I think Cosmo will be a big thing in the next probably 12 months. I'm going to Accelerate here in 2 weeks, and I'm sure they're going to talk about it at Accelerate, and it's going to be a really, really big thing. That said, I'm up in the air on it, right? I wonder, I suppose, at times whether or not it's going to truly be revolutionary. I think a big thing is that a lot of our standard practices And it's very interesting. People keep talking about and like releasing all these guides being like, SEO is dead, SEO is dead, GEO is the future, right? And like, then they'll be like, here are the top 10 ways to optimize for GEO. And then you get into actually looking at GEO and like what they're saying. And it's literally just like the same basic things you would do for SEO, because of course it is, because of most AIs right now are just large or learning language models, right? So what that essentially means is that they're just pulling data from current already optimized top pages in search results, right? And so they're going to, of course, have very similar ones at the end of the day. So all that being said, there's not a lot. Sponsor display lit if you really need. Let's see. Oh, Viper said happy Friday. No, happy Friday. And my entire rant on Rufus and AI there caused us to lose about 10 people. Oh man, Lit, is there a way to know which change impacted conversion rate, click-through rate, etc.? Let's say when we change image A+, also considering that we haven't signed up for brand experiments. Not really. I mean, you just have to change something. You just get your before and after data, right? So you essentially can see, hey, I changed my main image, and then boom, now my click-through rate has gone up by 8%. Fantastic. That's your primary motivator, right? And it's one of the reasons why, if you're really, really interested on like tracking what is performing well and what change is making what happen, I tend to only want to change like one thing at a time. Now, obviously, if like you have a really crap listing, you just want to change the entire thing, and you're going to see improvements with that. But the big thing there is just going to come down to tracking and seeing what change you applied, what effect it had thereafter from your data standpoint, or changes in that case. Minecraft, when optimizing for PPC, is it sensible to focus on click-through rate and up and down bids based off of that instead of ACoS? I heard Stephanie, I don't know who Stephanie is, talking about click-through rate being the most important outside of organic sales. Yeah, so absolutely it is. So, oh, Steven, that is a crazy way to spell Steven's name. Yeah, so absolutely, click-through rate. Essentially, we come out we have tons of data, right? So when you manage over 400 brands every single year and you work with about 1,000 per year, you get a lot of data. And so every single year in January, we release our this year SEO most important factors. So we essentially look at all of the different factors that applied from the last year, and then we kind of say, hey, here's the new updated one. This year, currently, the 4 most impactful things towards SEO ranking at the end of the day is, firstly, organic sales, then click-through rate, then your conversion rate, and finally, PPC sales. Those are our 4 biggest impacts at the end of the day. So that's like a really, really big thing to understand. Now, is it sensible to focus on click-through rate and up and down bids based off that instead of ACoS? Not entirely, right? So first off, not a huge fan of up and down. I'm much rather a fan of down only. I think that just makes the most sense and is the most sensible, mainly because I don't trust Amazon to just artificially raise my bid and charge me more than what I want to actually pay. But, maybe I'm just a little old school in that sense. Now, that being said, click-through rate is, yes, very important when you're doing any type of advertising, right? So your click-through rate, at the end of the day, I don't like anything below 0.5 on ads. If you have a click-through rate below 0.5 on ads, major problem, in my opinion. It means you need to update your main image. It means that likely you're not targeting the correct things, right? So there's a couple of different factors, but yeah, it's a focus point. I don't think it's the only focus point. So when you say instead of ACoS, I don't think you should say, oh, I don't care about my ACoS as long as my click-through rate is 5%, so to speak. Francisco, when selling consumables, what does Amazon require from sellers to be able to sell these types of products? I mean, it depends on which type of consumable. So there's a lot of different consumable products. Are you a food product? Are you a supplement product? Are you are you a battery, right? Like that's a consumable technically. I think you mean ingestible consumable, but either way, so like there's a lot of different types of consumable products. Typically speaking, Amazon needs documentation around the consumable depending on what it is. So something like creatine, technically you don't actually have to have any documentation right now. It's still a very gray area on Amazon for creatine. Whereas like protein powder, a lot of times they'll want that to be certified. So you have to get that lab tested. A lot of supplements, you have to get your supplements lab tested. Food products, they have to actually meet FDA standards a lot of times, drinks, so on and so forth. So these are things that it just depends on which category you're in, as to which testing you have to get, if any, because some consumables you don't have to, like I said, creatine. Viper, do coupons lower your 30-day price average? Does it count the price with the coupon as being the lowest price in 30 days? Yeah, coupons, I believe, are for your was price, if I'm not mistaken, but it does not count towards your average selling price. Or maybe it's the other way around. I'd have to relook at Viper. It's one of the two where it doesn't count for both. It counts for one or the other. So it's not a matter of, and this is obviously one of the issues. So it's like, for instance, Prime Day's coming out. Let's say you want to launch some form of promotion. You can't do that unless it's like 5% below your average selling price in the last 30 days, right? And so with a coupon, your average selling price would be lower, so on and so forth. Or it's the other way around. I'd have to relook at that. I guess I could just look at it. It literally tells you this as well on the coupon section. If you go on over to coupons, it will tell you. And now I'm second guessing myself. So if I wanted to create a new coupon, let's just do a standard one, all customers. Let's see. Okay, so it is your average. So it does affect average price. Okay, so yeah, there you go. It's your average price. Minecraft. I don't see the brand referral bonus. Do I ask customer service to enable it or something? Are you brand registered? So you can only do brand referral bonus if you are brand registered, for one, but then also two, at the same time, a big aspect to brand referral bonus is, yes, getting it enabled. So you have to actually apply for it, which is just under, if you click on the brands section, you can do the manage your brands. But yeah, you can also ask seller support to enable it for you, because you have to apply for it. What would you do if all your competitors, that's a wild way to spell competitors, are ramping up ads, which is lifting cost per clicks for the entire niche? How would you navigate considering you are a top seller and have strong conversion? However, even without that, PPC is losing you margins. Yeah, this is unfortunate. There's not a lot you can do, right? So if your average cost per click is just rising because competitors, there's not a ton you can do to say, oh, I'm going to lower my cost per click, right? But what you can do is focus much more, if you're a top seller, on just continuing for retargeting, right? So increasing your customer lifetime value through retargeting campaigns. I would focus very heavily on your organic, making sure that you stay that top of search. So your organic sales matter a ton, and then try and increase overall from either like discounts. So strike through always helps a ton with this kind of thing to keep your conversion really, really high. You can also just look at a variety of other aspects. So like brand tailored promotions. Can you do brand card banners to bring people back to you? Can you do top tier to make sure you get all of the new to brand customers, and do some competitor targeting? So, make sure that you are actually taking market share from those competitors that are raising those cost per clicks as well. Which piece of SEO indexes the most? Would it be title? Yes. Title is number one most indexable and rankable for that matter. How do you get an advertised product report for a sponsored brand, since Amazon doesn't give us that? Is there a way? Yeah, there is. So if we go to, let me find it, measurements, reporting. Here we go. All right. So I guess, yeah, I can show this. That's fine. Can you see? Here we go. So if you just come over measurements and reporting on your advertising console, go to sponsored ads reports, and then you go to create report. You can just do sponsor brand, and you can get a report type. So whatever type you need at the end of the day. So I'm not really sure what you mean by not getting a sponsored brand report, because you absolutely can at the end of the day. We got Craig. How's it going, Craig? Is there a way to see buy box broken out by marketplace, i.e. UK versus US, trying to determine if buy box is being lost in a particular marketplace? Not really. I mean, you would just go to each individual marketplace and look at the featured offer report for each one of those marketplaces. P.S. Love the mag hat. Thank you. Really, I had no idea you could use Amazon partners to get CE testing done. Could you show us how that works? Yeah, so this is under major compliance. So technically speaking, there are partners for it. So essentially you can get it from your manufacturer. You should get from your manufacturer, Zane. But on top of that, if you go to your manage your compliance dashboard, Amazon will have a little thing up at the top that says like Amazon compliance partners, right? And several of them on the compliance partner network do CE testing as well. Lit, can we get all the reviews for other marketplaces too, assuming you are selling US and have 2K reviews and planning to expand into UK or CA? Yeah, so if you do international, or what is it, sell internationally or sell globally, sell globally, then essentially you can tie your ASIN and all of the reviews from each one of your marketplaces together. It shows up a little funky in the review section down at the very bottom, like it'll show reviews from other marketplaces. But overall, yes, you can just tie direct as long as your ASINs are actually connected to each other. Jeff, good to see you. Hi, Noah. I know you love my questions. I do, Jeff, even though you try and stump me all the time. Amazon is including a gallery image for German text overlays. Okay. I've tried to delete it in manage images, but it keeps coming back. Seller support was no help. So two potential scenarios here, Jeff. Scenario number one, I would ask, is that do you have any other listings in the other marketplaces? So for instance, if you're selling in Germany and you might not be selling in Germany, but verify no one is selling in Germany on your ASIN, including Amazon, because that's a big problem where Amazon will sell your listing internationally. They'll make changes to that listing in the international market, and that will carry over to your ASIN in other markets. So verify you are not selling in those other markets, because that can be a big problem. Now, that's not the case. The bigger issue here is the fact of, I would be curious why it's German. Who knows? But it could be that every single Amazon ASIN, essentially, it does not matter if you change something on the ASIN. Amazon keeps all backend data, always, even if you cannot see it for any change that has ever happened. It's one of the major reasons that if a product ever gets hit with like a pesticide warning, for instance, that product or that ASIN is never safe for being not pesticide marked again. And it's because Amazon essentially sees that some point in time you had text on that ASIN that said it was a pesticide of some kind. So it's a big, I think, gray area at the end of the day, and kind of sucks. But yeah, I would check definitely the international selling as like my very first avenue there. Hi, Noah. Hope you're having a good Friday. I am. If I have a product that's patent pending, can other people sell that item? If so, when and how can I stop them? Yeah, but if your patent goes through, then you can just go through and you can patent claim every single one of them and just get it resolved at that point. But patent pending doesn't mean much. It's only once you actually get the patent approved, unfortunately. I have a niche product. Give me strategy in brief. That they wrote that 4 times. What does that mean? I don't know what your product is. What do you mean brief strategy? Not helpful. If you can extrapolate, maybe I can help you here. So let's say you found a keyword phrase that you wanted to rank higher on. Let's say the keyword was baby oil. Okay, I like how you just say quote unquote baby oil. Like that's not the keyword you're asking me, but whatever. How do you go about ranking higher on that? Do you run an exact match on that and burn money until you get ranked to where you want it to be? Or do you run a broad match with that keyword, but wouldn't that rank you on more broad keywords and not the exact keywords you want? You're talking as if you can't do both at the same time, which is what I would do. Yeah, if you want to rank better, yes, exact match is going to burn money a little bit faster, not necessarily burn, but it is going to be a lot faster on the ranking. Now, broad match, yes, you are going to not rank as quickly for that if you just do a broad match. Now, that said, it gives you a lot more testing across the board as to what you could be selling against. So my typical advice would be both doing a broad and a exact match at the exact same time. By the way, I just noticed I flashed a ring on my finger. I'm not married, for anyone that's curious. This is the one ring from Lord of the Rings, for anyone that, you know, is a fan. So take that for how you will. Lit. Is it still time to start FBA wholesale? I mean, you can. I know plenty of people that still do FBA wholesale to this day and do fantastic work. I coach a guy weekly, actually, who does not really wholesale. He does more online arbitrage, but very similar. It's just really hard to find products for FBA wholesale. It's the only thing. I got a CTR main image from Mag. All I tried to do is make the LED on the product a little brighter. Amazon rejected it. They need to fix the main image guidelines. I should be able to show the LED. Yeah, LEDs are annoyances, and it's even worse if you, Viper, I bet you would get even more annoyed if you just search up like any LED light on Amazon, right? There's tons where it's just like, I'm sorry, but oh, is it? Oh, it's not sharing. Hold on. My page broke for some reason. Here we go. Let me share my screen here. Here we go. So it's even more annoying if you're just looking and like you can see like this is not how the product just looks when it's turned off, right? Like they're very clearly showing that the lights are like this. Yeah. So like it's just super bright right there. Like that's not at all how it should be. So I know I feel your pain. I feel your pain quite a bit there, Viper. It is quite annoying, but you can usually try and get through still. It just takes a little bit of effort. How do you see Amazon's future considering the tariff problems? I think Amazon is going to continue doing what Amazon does at the end of the day. I think, yes, prices are going to increase. The reality is tariffs haven't actually increased prices all that much. It's just hurt bottom line, right? It just hurt profit margins more than anything. I think that Amazon's future is going to be just fine. Amazon's not going anywhere. Amazon's a multi-trillion-dollar company, one of very few multi-trillion-dollar companies, right? And so I think Amazon's not going anywhere. I think that people that can have a volume-based, low profit margin business will dominate and continue dominating just because, right? Like if you're somebody who's willing to accept a 1% profit margin on your product, right? Comparatively, somebody who needs a 10% just to get by, you're just going to do better at the end of the day. You have more wiggle room. You have more ability to spend money. It's just the game at the end of the day. Hi, Noah. Hope you are fine. I am. My question is, when we get a good ranking on Amazon for our product, how to keep it, my product is in 60 in subcategory. Yeah. So, I mean, ranking is just sales, right? So if you start getting good ranking in your subcategory, fantastic. Try and get even higher, right? So 60 isn't that high when you think about it. I mean, it is, but at the same time, I want to see people in 20 to 50. I want to see them to 1 to 20 range, right? So focus strike zone really heavily right now. Try and get as high as possible in your category because that's going to boost your overall organic sales. It's just going to work much better for you, right? But it just comes down to sales volume more than anything. Oh, I noticed Video Games Explained asked a third part. Don't quite understand how you would go about rank higher on keyword, not SEO related, only PPC related. Yeah, so I think I still answered that question fairly well for you. Video Games Explained. Viper, has Mag worked with products that are linked to Amazon through Printify? Yeah, yeah, we have. We have a couple different clients who do custom products and whatnot. Is it the best business in the world? Not really, because when you think about it, it's kind of like, you know, anybody can basically spin that up at any point in time. I'm also not a huge fan of custom, but is what it is. Can you add a thumbnail image to a variation after it has created? Yeah, so you're talking specifically about the little, actually, are there any variations here? Hold on, yeah, here's one. So you're talking specifically, I'm guessing, and you know, this bag's because you can't actually add a little image to this, but I'm assuming you're saying like here, Jeff, and the answer is yes. You can change these specifically on the variation. I like to do it via flat file, where essentially on the flat file itself, you can just dictate what the little thumbnail is going to be. There's a specific name for it, and I can't think what that image name is. I'm sure somebody in the chat will say it, but the answer is yes. Do I got to speed through these questions? I'm like half an hour behind. You guys are hammering with questions. I'm like half an hour behind on these. I think gamers love Amazon because Amazon is also like a video game. Lots of challenges and lots of problems, but always a desire to get to the next level. Very well said. Gamer myself, actually. You got it right. Haha. Zane. Okay. So okay. Fantastic. I did get it right. My daily budget is $100, but my account never uses that. I'm running 10 campaigns usually, but only $50 to $75 is used. My bids are fairly high with modifiers. PPC is odd. Yeah, I mean, I usually set budget higher. It's not good if you run out of budget, right? So it's fine to not hit your daily budget at the end of the day. I mean, the only way to really hit your daily budget is if people are clicking, right, and spending higher. So it's not necessarily an issue as long as you aren't hitting your daily budget. Let's see. The amount of people who actually run Amazon businesses are like 3% compared to the 97% people who watch business content and just get hyped and take no action. So even though Mag has less viewers on their live stream, Mag's information is 1000% more educational. We all loyal to Noah's Friday live streams. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for the answers, Noah. For clarification, let's say we only have 4 beads in 4 sizes, small, large, XL, and sell them in seven different pack sizes. Okay. So yeah, I do a 2-layer variation theme. I don't think that's an issue. You're essentially just going to have, the 2 different layers of variation. It can get a little confusing from the customer aspect, but especially in a situation like this, you're always going to find out you have a hero product or 2, right? So something like the medium 2-pack is always going to be the #1 seller because that's what people more realistically need at the end of the day. And that's just, it carries the weight of the entire thing. But you don't lose people who are looking for a small 6-pack, so to speak. Mark, is it against term service to add competition to your catalog so you can see their back-end work? Or is there a better way to see it? No, I mean, not at all. You can add any ASIN you want to your catalog. That said, you don't really get to see back-end work, right? Like, I mean, you can, right? Like you can see different, you can see the different keywords, I guess, but you could also just see those by pulling an ASIN analysis, right? You don't need to go into their back-end to like see the work, so to speak, that they're doing. There's not like a ton of work being done, right? Is it against term service? I don't think so. I mean, you can add any product you want into your catalog at the end of the day. So yeah, I don't think so. Search query performance under brand analytics does not reflect the purchases I see in my ad console. What's the difference between these 2 sales datas? Oh, like I know the answer to this. It's because I literally just did a whole thing on it recently. You know what? Let me get back to you on it, Azane. Actually, that's a great question for me to make a video on. So let me leave myself a note to make a video because that is a great video topic. Just so people understand. I was just coaching someone on this as well. I believe it comes down to how Amazon, if I remember correctly, essentially comes down to how Amazon, sorry, I was writing the video topic there. It essentially comes down to how Amazon reflects different audience and how they actually tag things. So like, for instance, brand analytics will take in all brand related content. Like if somebody clicks on specifically your brand or they click on specifically like a sponsored display, like that counts versus search query being like very just keyword oriented when people are doing specifically searching on Amazon's console. That's like, I think the primary differentiator. But again, let me do the full video on it because it's very in depth. I'll add into their PPC because that's normally the question. I think that's actually the question I got beforehand on how search query does it versus how PPC attributes. And it just, again, it comes down to whether somebody's searching or not. It's kind of like the thing in manager experiments where it says like like sales from search versus like all sales on the product. Hi there. Which match types would you suggest for new launch for high search volume keywords, low search volume, and mid search volume? Same across the board. Broad match type, a couple of broad match types, as well as exact match types. That's just going to be my commonality across the board at all times, as well as doing an auto campaign. Please advise on terms of service compliance for packing inserts. If it reads, we would appreciate a product review on Amazon, not asking for positive review, not offering any reward. That's fine. You can absolutely ask for a review. I personally wouldn't really push it all too much in this day and age, just because I've heard horror stories about people and how Amazon just, targets anyone who does it. That said, it's fine. At the end of the day, as long as you're not asking for positive, you're not giving anything whatsoever in there, yeah, you can ask for a review. Wish I could do business in the US instead. Too many consumers' rights in the EU. Honestly, so frustrating for US seller or for us sellers. Yeah, EU is pretty annoying at the end of the day. You always can do business in the US if you really want to. It's just a little bit of effort to get started. Zane, bear with me. I'm a new seller, an entry-level entrepreneur, and I finally launched a product that's getting sales. It makes me so happy, but I have no idea. Great job. I love hearing that. I am all for it. Make sure to come back every single week, Azane, and ask any new questions during the launch. I would love to continue just kind of hearing your story throughout the weeks. I started my Amazon seller account as a sole proprietorship. Is there a way to switch it to an LLC? Yeah. So if you do sole proprietorship, you typically are setting up a personal Amazon account. You have to switch it over to a professional account, and then you can switch it to an LLC. You can also just switch over your actual business, and you can do that as well on Amazon. Noah, good news homes. I am now unbanned and able to talk to Amazon customer service. You were right. It was only temporary. Now time to fix them losing my inventory. I ain't ever saying. I want you to know I got such a kick out of that. And so did everyone else on the team last week. Yeah, no, G, the Amazon AI images is complete cheeks. Yeah, they are. Even though they always say you need white background, the AI literally makes images that aren't even compliant. Amazon be tripping. Yeah, absolutely it does. Are we back to the 90s slang again for all of this? Azane, how exactly does audience modifiers impact exact match campaign? Since the campaign is designed to show only for one keyword, there can only be one audience, right? Audience modifiers. Oh, you're talking about like when you're creating the exact match. Yeah. So the audience modifiers, check your brand analytics. So audience modifiers, yes, are very similar to, they're not similar. They are essentially just what you see in brand analytics. They're what you would see in like sponsored display, for instance, from an actual audience targeting group. So to understand a little bit better, like the differentiators from them and like how they actually appear, yeah, it will be specifically for those. Now, is it only going to show for that one audience? I haven't done enough testing to say yes for sure. I think it's more so it's geared specifically towards those audience groups. Funny story, a buddy of mine met his girlfriend on Amazon. She was a competitor of his and he had a dispute with her. He emailed her, but he found out she lived close. They met up in reality, and after a few days of meetings stuff, they end up dating each other. Now they give each other all the data they have from their brands. Now they are crushing it. That's actually hilarious and such a neat, cute story. I love that. Amazon matchmaking service. I don't want that. If Amazon came out with a matchmaking service, that'd be terrifying. I do retail arbitrage, man, and make $120 a month profit, but it's getting harder and harder. I don't understand why we have to do buy box, but big brands have no buy box. Ain't fair because we small. Can we get a new? Oh, ain't fair because we small. Yeah. Online arbitrage is hard. Or retail arbitrage is super hard. Online a little bit easier, but yeah, it's hard unless you can find like the right stuff, and unless you can kind of, honestly, the only real way to make a lot of money with it is kind of doing gray hat tactics, which I don't really advise in this day and age because it'll just get your account banned pretty quick. It's hard to find the right stuff. Let's see. I have a fairly high ticket product in my niche, $60, and positioned as luxury. There are products that are more expensive than me too. Can I even manage to get to front page for any search term? Yeah, I mean, you absolutely can. I don't see why you couldn't. The big thing is The nice part, I think, of having a very high ticket product is you usually have a bit higher margins, right? Especially if it's positioned as luxury, which allows you to have more money to spend on advertising. So you can usually beat people out for advertising. Now, big issue, sales rank. So Amazon's always going to like volume over revenue, right? Which counterintuitive, especially for Amazon. But can you get to first page? Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be easy. But for someone, if you have somebody half your price who's doing triple the amount of sales, yeah, you can't really compete with that all too easily. Can we get a new video on the SEO phases? I know, dude, you guys just love spelling his name wrong. Made videos before, but it's outdated. I think because I see no pink keywords. Okay, so first and foremost, sub for no reason gameplay. Go to our webinar site. I just did an SEO webinar yesterday that I talk about all of this. More specifically, pink keywords. Historically speaking, there was a tool where it showed keywords in the color pink, which is why they are called pink keywords. Now they are still pink keywords in quotes because that's just what we call them, right? But it just is more so a phrase for what a pink keyword stands for rather than actually being pink nowadays. All right, let's see. How are Amazon sellers dealing with tariffs? When I spoke to a China supplier, they stated they will pay for the tariff. Yeah, that's not true. I don't believe it a lot of times. And they just are going to raise your price. Is this accurate? Yeah, I've heard it from a lot of people. And then the China seller just ends up raising the price of the product, and it's like a net neutral gain, right? And I also don't trust necessarily for them to do the shipping with payment. Like it's up in the air, right? Can you do it? Absolutely. A lot of people are just kind of eating the cost. From what I've seen, they raise prices slightly, lower ads slightly. Depends on the brand, realistically. Move out of China if they can. I'm working on Amazon. I am working on Amazon. I have not my own investment, but I want to provide my service. If someone interested, contact me. It's kind of crazy to promote yourself on a Friday live stream of a guy who literally does the exact same thing, but go off, King, I guess. Let's see. Serving Christ. SWCH is the naming convention for thumbnails. It looks like no. Oh, Swatch. Oh, thank you, Serving Christ. Yeah, okay. So I SWCH stands for swatch. It is a swatch. That is the thumbnail name. A swatch image. I don't know why it goes down to SW. I guess it does for SWCH. That makes sense for swatch. But I could not think of that word for the life of me. So thank you. Hello, Noah. I'm FBM seller using Printify for t-shirts, hats, mugs. My Amazon fees plus costs are high. Any provider with better rates plus shipping, how do FBA sellers ship tees under $10? Anyone who's shipping a tee under $10 a lot of times is buying in bulk. They're not doing something like Printify. They're not doing print on demand. They are full bulk sale at the end of the day. Unfortunately, I don't know. I don't know enough about the printing space to say there's a better match than Printify, especially one that connects to Amazon, unfortunately. But yeah, it's just bulk. If you have a product that sells consistently, bulk buy. That would be my best bet to you. Can I change my brand name with brand registry and keep my old brand sales history, reviews, etc., or would I have to start from scratch? No, you absolutely can change your brand name. We have a couple of different resources on our website talking about it, and we also do it for a fee. So if you're interested in having us do it for you, we have a extremely high, I think like a 98% success rate on brand name changes. Feel free to reach out to us. You can just go to myamazonguy.com/ I think brand registry, brand name change. Let me double check that. Is just under our services tab on the website. Go to this link. I'll throw it in the chat there. I'll throw it. You're on YouTube. I'll throw it to the YouTube chat. There you go. Go over there, and yeah, we can do brand name change for people. More than happy to. Zane, can you explain the difference between negative exact match and phrase match? For example, should I use my competitors' brand names as exact match or phrase match? Phrase match. So you will. Here is a great little graphic. I'm going to throw this up on the screen, Zane, and I want you to screenshot it for me, just so I don't have to keep it up here too long. Screenshot this image. I've posted this image a lot of times. This explains everything for between exact match, phrase match, broad match. Essentially, look at it like this: like the difference between like a phrase, and a exact match is basically exact is exactly what you're saying. So it's artisan soap or it's baby oil or whatever your keyword is. It's exactly that. Whereas phrase match is your exact keyword plus some extra words. That's the main differentiator at the end of the day. So hopefully you got that screenshot. Because it's gone now. Let's see. I want to sell a product that has quality issues based on customer reviews in it, and it has 3K plus sales. What should I do with it? Is priced $14.99. I don't understand. You want to sell it, but it's currently selling. Increase your SEO and advertising. I guess I understand the full question there. We are running towards the end of questions here. Let's see. Hey, Noah, that cap is looking good on you. Thank you. So if my account gets a DMCA claim from a competitor just to disrupt the sales and I am enrolled in Amazon account health assurance, would Amazon remove my listing? No. So Amazon with account health assurance will call you ahead of time if there's any issues on your account, if there's any issues on listings, anything like that. They'll give you a call ahead of time, and usually they give you about 72 hours to resolve whatever the claim is. So it gives you a little bit of breathing room, but not a lot. And Amazon's pretty slow, so sometimes that 72 hours really isn't enough. If the DMCA claim is false and like you can prove it's false, that will end up hurting the competitor in the long run for being a false claim, essentially. So I would definitely fight every single claim you get in the off chance that you win it. Let's see. Jeff says, thanks. City Computer says, do you have any experience related to FBM shipments? Yeah, tons. I guess, what do you need help with? Dude, you guys getting crazy with how you're spelling Steven's name. But no live streams are good. Friday is also prayer day for us, so I feel blessing to see Friday live from you. Oh, I love that. I love that. Shalom. Do you have coaching? Yeah, you can head on over to myamazonguy.com/coaching, and we can help you get out. We do coaching. We have tons of different coaches, myself, a couple of our brand directors, brand managers as well to choose from. We also do consulting packages as well, and we'll do essentially one-on-one sessions with you to help you through any issues, talk through anything, and just get you all the information you need. Can sponsored brand ads take part in ranking? Technically, kind of. I mean, it's more so you're getting like click-through rate still, right? And your products are still getting that. And if you get sales from it, sales helps towards that ranking. If I failed verification, for example, I have health insurance. Would Amazon contact me first? Yeah, so Amazon contacts you first if you have account health assurance. Yeah, so they contact you first, and they will essentially call you and be like, hey, this is an issue. They give you 72 hours to resolve the problem. It just gives you a little bit extra time rather than just getting like suspended like that. Just one seller sells it and want to resell it, but making it in China. Well, if it's brand registered product, you can't. You won't really, I mean, you're just going to get hit with a fake product, essentially from the brand registered owner. So I wouldn't necessarily go after that. Wait, Noah, for a few minutes. I joined late. I have one question. Yeah, throw your question in. I got 2 or 3 more to go through. I'll be here for another 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll get skedaddling. Why can no one spell? Dude, I don't think I've told Steven yet about the aspect that it's now becoming a meme to spell his name wrong. I should probably do that at some point, but I think it'd be a lot funnier to not tell him and then just have him hop on one of these with me at some point and just see that everyone spells his name in a million different ways. And at some point he'll catch on, I assume. But I do find it pretty humorous at the end of the day. What's the craziest way someone misspelled your name or Stevens? It's a great question. There was somebody I get, for some reason, I don't know why, a lot of people read my name in emails and then they'll respond, "Hey, Nick." I don't know if it's just like what it is, but they just call me Nick instead of Noah. I don't know what that is, but some people on these lives before have spelled my name crazy. Like, I don't even understand how they get the spelling they do for my name, but they do. Let's see. Oh, Sahil guy's message in. Hello, Noah. My campaign was performing well throughout the year, but suddenly the performance has dropped. This is happening across multiple accounts. Could you share what might be the reason? Yeah. So first and foremost, I actually shared earlier, Sahil, in this a video. If you search myamazonguy.com or no, not myamazonguy.com. If you go to our YouTube channel, which you're currently on, and you search the word impressions, the very first video talks about if your impressions are decreasing and your campaigns are not performing. Watch that video. That's going to help you a ton. Secondarily, it could be a couple of things. I would check to see if you have new competition in the market. Check to see if your overall cost per click is just rising and you haven't done enough bid adjustments across the board. Make sure that you haven't over negated your campaigns as well. One of the things I always have our teams do is once per month, they go through, check all of the negations that they have done over the course of the few weeks, look to see at the all-time basis if it's a negation they should have done or if they need to unnegate that as well. So I see over negating as like a big problem a lot of times. So all that being said, guys, I got to call it there. One, because my jaw is hurting from talking so much. I've been in meetings all morning long and then doing this. And so I've been kind of just talking for the last like 5.5 hours and my throat's getting a little sore. But two, also just as I got to stand up, I got to stretch. Anyways, I hope everyone has a great weekend, great week ahead. We'll be live. We're live every single week, 12 p.m. Eastern. So come on by next week, hang out. We'll answer all the questions. If you guys didn't get your question answered today, again, you can head on over to myamazonguy.com /coaching. We have our website right there. You can go to our services. You can go to coaching. Head on over there. You can ask us questions. You can book a coaching call with us if you want some one-on-one help. Or even better yet, you can as well just book a call with one of my team members at myamazonguy.com /book. And you can talk to one of my team members directly. If you need any help on Amazon, they'll be able to coach you through it, as well as potentially see if there's something that we can help you out with. So again, hope everyone has a great weekend, great week ahead, and I will see y'all next week. Bye.